I'm trying to, put together a tweet, and I'm gonna need the link that you're gonna.
I got a delicious link coming for you. Hold on. No one say anything. Leander, activate the swear filter. Here we go. I think we're live. I'm waiting for the picture. Oh, we got 3 people waiting here. It's probably us 3. Oh, hey, we're live.
Oh, look. Wow, look at that audience. Wow, it's 3 people.
That's actually a good way to kind of like fluff the numbers. So people are like, oh, wow, there's people here waiting. It's just us. It's just us waiting to hear ourselves talk. Okay, Lewis, you ready for the tweet? I'm going to send you. I'm going to tweet this out. No, I'm going to tweet this out, and why don't you just tweet out this exact thing? I'm about to send it to you. Check out this delicious marketing copy. This is going to get them wowing and watching. That's what we want. Ready? It's going in the Slack. You ready?
I'm going to get busted for plagiarism, man.
Twitter doesn't care about that.
Okay. I guess I won't.
Look, if Colt and Mac were going to get busted for plagiarism, it would have happened already.
What kind of person copy and paste something and then just go ahead and publish it?
Well,
can't.
Hey everyone, welcome.
They clearly have a better computer than me.
Dude, I got a monster. Shout out to Chase McLean. Oh, dude, I love that last name. I want to change my name to Airfon McLean. It's kind of a mismatch of sounds, but Chase, you got to promise me. Well, first off, you got to promise me that you're going to have a son, and then you got to name him John. Okay, make me that promise. Shout out to Michael Fu. He says, "Hey y'all." That's a very merry hey y'all to you, Michael Fu. We got a lot of stuff to talk about here today, guys. We're going to be starting in mere moments, but we're just going to hang out for a little bit. We were supposed to start 30 minutes ago. What?
Are you guys watching the live stream?
I'm not watching the live stream. I got it going on in the background, but I'm not watching
it. You're going to fall into a time warp.
Because one of the things I was going to say, like last week, it's difficult for me to follow along what you're talking about when I can't see the pictures.
Oh, because I'm not showing you the pictures.
Imagine how the listeners feel.
Yeah. That's why we're so descriptive in what we talk about, Leander.
Verbal picture.
Hey, Leander, if you really want to watch it, you can, but just mute it. Here's the link for it. I'm posting.
Hey, I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
So you can kind of keep it muted in the background if you want.
I don't know if I want to watch it, to be honest.
you can
I wouldn't watch
like
it.
A time traveler.
All right. Shout out to Alkesh S. He just says, yo. Yo. The Jose says, Gillette, the best a man can get. How was that? Gillette, the best a man can get. I think Lewis is using Gillette. Look at those sharp curves on his power goatee. Look at that thing.
Lewis, I shaved just this morning.
Oh, you did?
Doesn't look like you did it, or maybe you did, and you're just like that manly.
I just have that much testosterone, Lewis. Yeah, yours is looking high and tight. I like that. You should maybe think about dyeing it black or something. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know?
I hate to say it, but I'm getting to that point in my life.
And then when you get real sweaty, you can start dripping down your face.
Sounds great.
Just down your neck. Just the lines coming down your neck. Shout out to Chris Hernandez. I'm always at work when you guys do this, but he's quote-unquote teleworking today. I put those quotes in, but we know what you're saying there, Chris. Shout out to Alper. No one is saying if they are better or worse than my Sony XM4. Okay, so you're talking about your Sony wireless headphones. Well, look, I don't know yet because I haven't put them on my ears to test them, but I almost guarantee you they're going to be better. At least from an audio perspective, they're going to be better. Unless you're using your XM4 with a device that supports aptX, which is the high codec Bluetooth codec that some Android devices support. I'm guessing. I'm only guessing here. I don't know for sure that Sony XM4s support aptX because they're not Apple. Apple's like the only company that doesn't use it.
Do the AirPods Max support it?
Heck no. Nothing Apple supports the aptX Bluetooth codec. But that's okay. They don't need to because Apple, TC, personally programmed this. I have it on good authority to say that. He was up all night the night before programming the audio experience. And I think these things are going to sound really magnificent. We're going to talk all about that, and I'll tell you why I think they're going to sound magnificent. Sadly for me, I released a video on my YouTube page today that I recorded yesterday about the AirPods Max audio experience and all this other stuff. And then, of course, Apple sent out review units to all these reviewers. I should have known they were going to do this. They do this all the time. It's actually really smart of them because they get ahead of the release and they get to control the narrative, which is why they do it. But normally, these reviewers won't have the products for at least a week or two, and their reviews, come out like right as the product is launching. But here we are, and their reviews are already out. So wasted like 2 hours, 3 hours doing that yesterday.
Au contraire. Their
What?
first impressions are out.
Their first impressions are out.
First impressions, not reviews.
Yeah, well, that's because they're like, I've literally only had these for 3 hours because Apple just sent them to me, and we have to get them out immediately. So that's all right. Edwin Torres is here. Sup, Govs? Let's see. Alper says, I wonder if they sound the same with a cable. I hate Bluetooth reliability. Yeah, I don't like Bluetooth either, man. It's spotty. It doesn't have nearly the range as Wi-Fi does with AirPlay, and they definitely don't have the sound quality. They probably sound better if you plug them in, but here's the thing. I'm guessing that the audio processing happens in that cable that you are purchasing for $35. Okay, we could talk about all this in the show. Should we go ahead and boot up Mrs. Doubtfire and get this thing rolling? I think we got everything ready. I'm like literally doing the show right now, and I'm giving out all the best bits. We got to save this stuff for the actual show. Welcome to everyone who's watching. We're getting ready to start, so I hope you guys are ready to roll. Let me move this back over here. Let's see here. Let's boot up Mrs. Doubtfire. Let me go ahead and get my shizzle upgraded here. I don't even know what that means. Use your imaginations. Mrs. Doubtfire, are you there? Hello? Are you ready to roll? Oh, yes. Okay. We're ready for you. Okay. Here we go. Hello, and welcome to Hookcast, the best 30-plus minute app conversation you're going to hear all week long. I'm your host, Airphone Elijah. Joining me today, sure, the AirPods Max sound good, but imagine how dreamy they would have been if Apple had hired his golden ears to help tune them. Big mistake, Tim Cook. He's the managing editor of Cultimac. Ooh, Lewis Wallace is here.
Say something.
What just happened?
What?
I don't know what just happened. Okay. Also with us, speaking of precious metals, he's got some gold of his own. It's sitting in little flakes at the bottom of his liquor bottles. And then you pour it into a glass, and it floats all around. And then you taste it, and it's like, ooh, delicious. It's so yummy. It's cinnamon. He's the founder of Cultimac. Leander Cady is here. I know you like that Goldschlager, Leander.
I've never actually ever had it, but I'm sure it's great.
What?
Maybe not intentionally. I'm sure you.
Goldschlager?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about that stuff with the gold leaf in it.
Well, that's what it is. It's
Goldschlager.
Goldschlager, yeah.
Oh.
So you have had
I'm
it.
really confused. I thought you said Grolschlager.
Oh, jeez. That's one of the strangest mishearings I have ever experienced. No, Grolschlager.
I need some new headphones, I think.
You need some that include
Wonder where
hearing
you
aids,
could
too.
get some.
Yeah, Goldschlager with the little flakes in it,
Yeah. I never had it.
I can't believe that. If there's one thing that surprised me about you that I learned about you early on is you really like those fruity, girly drinks. Those are your favorite.
Yeah, I can drink a fruity drink.
I remember when we went to CES, and I don't know what it was that you were drinking, but it literally looked like antifreeze. It was like bright yellow.
Well, those are the free ones they were giving out. That's why.
Yeah, they were all like neon blue, neon
Yeah,
yellow
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
That's
I
actually
know
your
that.
favorite, right? It's the free one.
Those are the best kind. Yeah,
Free ones
exactly.
taste the best.
Especially when you're sitting there in front of the slot machine and they're just bringing them to you, and it's like the cheapest, nastiest pine sol alcohol that they can get. The other thing, though, we went to like some little small, expensive bar in one of the casinos, and you had ordered some really elaborate, fancy drink. And I was kind of making fun of you because it was like some $20 thing, and it had like a spritz of orange peel on the top. And then I tasted it, and I was like,
Ooh.
this guy's onto something. And then we each got one. So me, you, and Buster, we're sitting there drinking like one of the most ornate, fanciest drinks I think I probably ever had. And it was delicious. All right, well, Everyone, welcome in. Welcome in. It's like you just walked into the Gap. Welcome in. Welcome in. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this show. Oh, my goodness. So first and foremost, since we spoke to you last, a lot of things have happened, a lot of developments in the world of Apple. And, of course, we're going to have to talk about the new AirPods Max. Can I go into browser mode? Oh, shoot, I forgot to do this. Let's set up browser mode here. Gall darn. I'm sorry, guys. I'm doing it on the fly. Here we go. Here they are, AirPods Max. So we'll be talking about first impressions of AirPods Max because, of course, all the reviews have been pouring in. We'll talk about what they're missing. There's some stuff that Apple decided to leave out of these for whatever reason. And I don't know what to think of this story. Leander is going to talk more about this. But apparently, Apple Car is reborn. And I don't mean like in some derivative that you're not going to care about. I mean like the actual electric Apple Car that we heard was dead like 5 times is apparently back and supposed to be released in the next, according to the story, 4 or 5 years. An actual Apple Car, full-on Apple Car. So we'll be talking about that, and we are going to wrap up with one of my favorite segments of the year. We do this every year. We'll be doing this until the end of the year. It's our favorite stuff of the year. This week, it's going to be our favorite shows of the year. Next week, it might be gadgets. The week after that, it might be our favorite bubblers. If El Caney gets to pick, that will probably be what it is. And we're going to just keep doing our favorite stuff all the way until the end of the year. So before we dive into all the fun, let me just, if I may, hop into browser mode here and talk a little bit about cult support. Baby, cult support. Listen, if you love what we do, if you want to see us do more of what we're doing, you should consider joining Cult Support. We got a bunch of different tiers here. I'm not going to go into all of the different tiers, but I will talk about if you join as a producer or a high-powered exec. We're going to be doing our first Gadge Garage opening here pretty soon. What is the Gadge Garage? It is basically a product giveaway. So things that I've purchased for review or have been given for review, we're going to be giving some of that stuff away for either free or for a seriously reduced price. And in order to partake, you have to be either a producer or a high-powered exec, and you have to have been a member for a month already, or you had to have joined the previous month for the next month's giveaway. So this is a great time to join because you will qualify for next month's giveaway, which is right around the corner. Actually, not really, but it's like 3 weeks away. That's not bad, though. And in any case, you're really helping out, and this is going to help more content be produced, and we're doing an extra podcast that you get every single week, extra content, extra live streams, so you get a lot of stuff. And, of course, you also get my eternal gratitude, and if you've been listening for a long time, you know that I also am very liberal in my giving of the mind hug. So I picture you in my mind, I come up, I give you a hug in my mind, and my hands may wander down south, and you'll know if they do because you'll get a little tingle sensation on the old derriere, right, Lewis? You know.
Yeah, right. My reaction exactly.
Lewis is getting that tingling feeling. All right, let's just dive right in here. Where are we? Are we in browser mode? Oh my goodness. So we talked about last week that we were going to be getting a announcement from Apple on December 8th. Well, lo and behold, we sure did. I woke up on December 8th and I was just browsing Twitter, and it was early in the morning. I just woken up and my eyes were still blurry. I could barely see, but I was like through the haze of the morning. I was looking down at Twitter. I was like, wait a second. What is this? And I'm like scrolling through. I'm like, is that a pair of Apple headphones? And of course, I spring awake immediately in a pure panic with FOMO. And I am trying to figure out which color I want to get on Apple's website. Some of them had already been sold out. So I ordered my first pair of Apple AirPods Max. And then later in the day, I ordered another pair.
What?
You did? You get the pink ones
Extra
or the green
ears
ones?
or what?
Yeah, I'm going to wear them at the same time, Lewis. Just to really show
Stacked
people.
on top of each other?
Just to show
Wow, that's
people.
really going to be some soundstage, isn't it?
That's going to be the ultimate soundstage. Just to show people how much of a fan I truly am. And plus, I also own a lot of Apple stock, so I figured maybe this will give me a couple ticks on the old Apple stock ticker. No, so I got a regular pair at full price. I almost don't want to tell you guys this because I don't want to make you guys envious.
Oh, really?
But
Yeah, I can see where this is going.
One of our listeners and a dear close personal friend, he said, "Hey, man, I can get you a little discount on these if you like." And I said, "Oh, boy, what are you talking about?" And let's just say I was able to get a smaller discount that made them a little bit more palatable because for $150, for $600, which is what these cost with tax, that's a, look, I'll be honest, it's a kick in the nards by a donkey. That's a big, hard kick, right, Lewis?
So what'd you get, 20% off?
I got 25.
Ooh.
Makes it a little bit easier to
25.
deal with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When are they coming, though? March?
No, so my first pair is coming, I think on the 18th. I ordered them right away. You did too, didn't you, Leander?
Yeah, I saw the same thing. I woke up early. I had a horrible night's sleep because I didn't take my usual tincture.
Of course.
I'm trying to wean I thought maybe I should try some melatonin. So I tried melatonin instead. Useless. I had the worst night's sleep. But so I was awake just as they announced them. And like you, FOMO, I was like, oh, I ordered a pair. I didn't even think about the color. Got a pair of black ones because it's like, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, right.
And then, then I started thinking about it later in the day. I was like, oh, wow, those blue one looks nice. But then it's like shipping in 12 to 14 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You got yours in 12 to 14 weeks?
No. I was I like you. I was wondering whether I should get a pair of colored ones.
Yeah.
I was almost gonna get the same, order a second pair and then return the first ones.
Yeah.
But I'll stick with what I got.
Well, yeah. Now they're sold out for I think 12 to 15 weeks. Of course, look, we all know the way Tim Cook plays these games. Okay, they do this on. I'm convinced they do this on purpose. Tim Cook is a master of operations. He's the puppet master with all the strings, and he's playing you guys on. You're dancing around for Tim Cook, and he's giggling in his office. Here's what's going to happen. Verbatim, here's what's going to happen. You're going to order your AirPods Max because you're in a scramble. 15 weeks. I need to get them now. And so it puts you into a panic, pure panic. You order them, and then what happens in 2 weeks? They just went from processing to prepared for shipment, and then you're going to get them within 14 days. Maybe 21 days.
Wow, this is all kind of wishful thinking. I don't know about that.
I feel like this happens every single year.
Yeah. I'm not sure I believe those shipping times, like you said, but I don't think you're going to get them in 2 weeks. I mean, you're definitely not going to get them in time for Christmas.
You're not going to get them in time for Christmas, right?
Unless you've already got your order in, there's no way. I mean,
these things are going to be like the PlayStation 5 on with the Scalpers selling them. Have you guys heard anything about the PlayStation 5 and how much they're going for?
$1,000 or more,
yeah,
right?
$1,000, and they're $500.
So are the AirPods Max. I looked on eBay yesterday. They were up to some people were trying to get $900 for them.
I wonder if they are actually getting that much money for them on eBay. Let's see here, eBay.com. Do I have time to vamp and do this? Maybe not. Let's just look real fast. Now it's going to make me sign in. I don't want to do that. But you could search completed auctions on eBay. Oh, here we go. Okay, now this is not completed auctions. Let's go into browser mode. Yeah, there's a. Okay, well here's a pair for $550. That's a scam. There's no way that can be real. This is crazy. Arriving on the 15th. Oh, so they do arrive earlier than mine. I'm going to be getting mine late, I guess. Well, let me search for sold ones. Let's see here. Hold on. Let me focus here for a moment because I can search all the sold ones. Here we go. Sold listings. Let's see. Wow. Okay, so here is what they're actually going for. Someone bought a pair for $800.
Whoa.
Someone bought a pair for $900.
What?
$850, $750. So most of these are space gray. Someone sold the blue for $850. That was a mistake. They definitely could have gotten more for those. Because the blues were the ones that I was originally going to buy, but they were not shipping for 15 weeks.
That's what I wanted too, the blue. To match my blue phone and my blue watch.
Lewis, you should have gotten the pink to match your red watch.
Jeez.
Dang,
Nice.
yeah, this is crazy. $839. Someone paid $950 for the greens. $950 for the greens.
The greens are the ugliest color.
The greens. That is
hideous.
one of the worst greens I've seen.
Match my teeth though.
We call it pirate green. I'll check these out. Wow. Okay, so you could get at least $750 for these. $800. More likely.
I'm gonna list mine.
Yeah, no kidding. $850. Yeah, and as the population awakes to the fact that these exist and they start going on Apple's site to see how much they cost, people are the prices on eBay, I bet you, are going to just keep going up. Okay, so enough about that. Let's talk about AirPods Max first impressions. People are already getting them in. Everyone, I think the most common sentiment so far is these things feel like they are ultra premium and they feel like they are more expensive than they actually are. Now, the price is $550, which is a bold price. I said on Twitter, Tim Cook's cojones status has been upgraded from impressive to wheelbarrow, because $550 for a pair of headphones, that's a lot of money, and it's outside of the realm of what most normal people are willing to pay. And clearly, Apple is positioning these as an audiophile grade product. And I have a video on my YouTube channel that I recently put out about the AirPods Max, and I'm not going to bring that up, but I am going to show you something that I talked about in the video, and I'll link to the video if you want to check out check it out. But check this out. So these are audiophile headphones that you can get from Sennheiser, and you can see most of these, the HD 660s, these are $500. The Sennheiser HD 650s, they're $400. These are the HD 600s. These are $350. These are audiophile grade headphones, okay? I mean, like the HD 600s right here, these are $350. I kid you not, these are the headphones that you see composers wearing when they're in the recording room doing orchestral arrangements. Like, these are what they're wearing. And Apple's coming in at $550. And you can see there are a couple pairs that are more expensive than the AirPods Max. Here's a pair for $2,400, the HD 820s. And then here are the HD 800s, $1,700. So Apple is positioning these squarely in the audiophile price range. And they're wireless headphones. So wireless and hi-fi, they don't normally get talked about in the same sentence. You're laughing, Lewis. What are your thoughts on hi-fi wireless headphones?
That's what Leander and I were discussing yesterday. It's like the audiophile people, they don't want anything digital. You don't want streaming anything. So I don't know. I was stunned by the price personally. $550 seems like a lot. I didn't even buy it. I didn't do it. I withheld.
That's strong willpower. Unlike me and Leander. for fumbling for our phone, I dropped my phone. I was like, oh no, where is it? I'm searching through the covers. Yeah, well,
yeah.
What
couldn't
these
do it. Couldn't bring myself to pay that much. And I've got a pair of headphones. They work great. I got AirPods Pro. They work great. You can't really toss those things in your pocket and run to the store with them, right?
No, especially with that case.
I guess the deal is you wear them around your neck like a fashion statement.
Oh, I think they're more than that. I don't think they're just an overpriced fashion statement. I really don't. I think the audio is going to be impressive. So let me just run through the rest of this story real fast, and we can talk about all the details of these things. So from the high-quality sound to the stainless steel and luxury materials. Let me go into browser mode so you guys have something to look at while I'm doing this. You can stare at the beautiful smart case. Use of magnets to connect the ear pads, and the consensus is that the AirPod Max are a premium product in almost every way. Judging from the materials execution alone, the AirPods Max feel like they should be more expensive than anything else. That was according to TechCrunch. So they're supposed to have hi-fi sound, okay? And at first I was like, hi-fi sound from a pair of wireless headphones, this doesn't make sense. In my mind, I was thinking they were going to connect via Bluetooth. Bluetooth is not a high-fidelity connection. It's compressed, lossy audio. So I did some research, and according to Apple's documentation, the other AirPods connect via AirPlay. Duh, why did I not connect that before? Well, AirPlay doesn't use Bluetooth. AirPlay uses Wi-Fi from all the research that I've done. That's as far as I can tell. And it uses a lossless compression. So it is going to have a lossless signal. And only Apple could do that because they control all their devices, right? So when you're listening to another Apple device, you get to connect via AirPlay. And when you connect via AirPlay, you're getting a lossless signal. So I think these really have the potential to sound unlike any wireless headphones that have ever been made before, because all the other headphones that are wireless, they connect.
Are you sure about all this? This
via
sounds like a
Bluetooth.
bunch of baloney. So if you go to your Bluetooth settings, I mean, there it is, right? AirPods. So are they? Is it
That's not your Bluetooth settings though. You mean like in your actual settings?
Yeah,
You're talking about your. Okay, yeah, I got you.
Are they? Is it just using Bluetooth to like make some kind of connection, and then behind the scenes it's using Wi-Fi, AirPlay, to beam the actual data, the signal?
I don't know. That's a good point about the AirPods being included in your Bluetooth settings. But according to the documentation, I was just looking at this yesterday. The AirPods connect via AirPlay, and so do the HomePods and all their other wireless audio devices. So Bluetooth is clearly used in some way, but I don't think it's used to stream the audio, and that's apparent from the range that you get, because with Bluetooth, the range between your headphones and your source device is very limited, right? Especially if you have walls. But Wi-Fi has a much broader range, and if you've ever walked away from your iPhone with your AirPods on, you can go a huge distance before you get any audio breakup whatsoever. So as far as I can tell, look, we'll have to look more into this once the AirPods Max are released and we have some more information. But as far as I can tell, AirPlay is used, and AirPlay uses a lossless audio signal, which is critical to the high fidelity sound of the AirPods Max. Okay.
Well, that's a big deal. I'm surprised they wouldn't tout that. Like they wouldn't be promoting this in the literature. But anyway, it's interesting. I mean, if that's true, very interesting.
I've never heard this in my life.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, I did a ton of research on this for my video, and let's see here.
Has it been flagged by YouTube yet for containing misinformation?
Well, it's taken down. Isn't that weird? They took the video down. I have no idea why. So we'll keep talking about this. I'm trying to look this up on the fly and look up the Apple support document that I used for my reference in my video. You can check it out. If you go to youtube.com/AirFanElijah, you can see the newest video. And I have the actual documentation in my video. I should have added it to our show notes here. But yeah, I don't. But AirPlay is not like Bluetooth. They're not the same technology. AirPlay uses a lossless signal, and Bluetooth is a lossy compression. So there you have that. There's probably someone in the chat that knows these things, but
Knows exactly what the truth is.
yeah, that knows the actual truth. That's my truth, Lewis.
I feel like I'm talking to Fox Mulder.
I don't know who that is. Oh, that's high praise. Thank you. The truth is out there. Isn't that his motto?
That is correct, sir.
Well, that is true. The truth is out there. In any case, that's clearly going to be a critical component of the high fidelity audio signal, right? Is that hi-fi component. And then, of course, the Apple designed audio components, the hardware itself. Look, the AirPods create a magical audio experience. They really do. The AirPods Mini, the normal, or the HomePods Mini. And I think these are going to be in that same pedigree. Why are you giggling over there, Lewis? I see you giggling.
No giggling.
I saw you giggle. You were clearly trying to withhold a giggle. You were like,
Stifle it. Stifle it.
Okay, I'm going to continue then, because I'm already talking about this way too long. Let's see here. So you get the dual H1 chips, 10. I love that Apple touted this, the 10-core audio chips. Or no, did they say 10-core? Or did they say each was able to handle 10 streams of audio? I think it's a 10-core H1 chip, and each side has a 10-1 or has a 10-core H1 chip. So you've got 20 cores of pure power. You get the smart case, which to me, when you put in the let's see, can I bring this up? Here we go.
God.
Here's the smart case with the AirPods Max in them. And everyone kept saying these look like a bra, which they do. But I think if you zoom in real close, can I get this close? What does this look like to you guys? So you can't see it. Does this not look like a perfectly sculpted pair of buttocks right here? It looks like you know what?
Butt-like.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say I can't be totally sure, but I'm guessing that TC was their model for this shape. He gets up every morning at 3 a.m. We know he does a lot of squats. And that's an apple bottom right there. So that's what it reminds me of. The strange thing about this case is, and I think this might be a huge design flaw, is that the AirPods Max don't have a power button on them. So the only way to put them to sleep, or one of the ways, the primary way to put them to sleep, is to put them in the magnetic case. So if you don't put them, it's kind of like the AirPods, right? They don't go to sleep unless they're in the case. Same premise here. Your AirPods Max won't go to sleep unless you put them in this case, but a lot of people think this case is ugly. And this case is kind of large. And so are the AirPods Max. That's kind of a... I see you nodding over there, Lewis. That's kind of a design a design issue, don't you think there, Lewis?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at that this morning, watching these videos about it. It's like, yeah, there's no way to turn them off, no way to put in that sleep mode. And I'm like, well, so the on and off button is a giant case that you really don't want to take with you anywhere. I'm kind of baffled by that that whole thing. I mean, I don't understand why it exists. Can you just take a little magnet and put it on your thing and forgo the thing? I mean, what does it do? It doesn't even protect it, right? I mean, it
kind of does.
The headphone sticks out, or the headband sticks out.
That's the carrying handle.
Yeah, the bottom isn't even fully closed, right? It's got those two weird vents on each side. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
To dissipate all your ear sweat, Lewis. They got to have a way to.
Is that what it is? It's a ear sweat dissipation.
I thought that as a profuse ear sweater that you might appreciate that feature, but clearly you haven't thought this through. This is for heat dissipation.
I mean, I'll say one thing. I've never seen anything like that. For headphones. I mean, yes, purses and sleep masks. That's another thing that they look like.
It does kind of look like a sleep mask, doesn't it?
Yeah, but geez, I just don't get it. I'm very curious to actually get my hands on one. One of the things that everything I've seen about it, people are saying like this doesn't make sense, and in fact that it actually kind of feels flimsy and like I don't know. That's like the one part of the whole thing that I just don't get. I think I'm gonna have to actually hold it in my hands before I have any sort of insight into why that thing exists. Why does it exist? I mean,
are we still talking about the vents? Are you still going on about the vents?
Let's talk about the bra.
I'm just talking about the case.
Oh, the bra, the Max bra.
Case.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't know why. I mean, when was the last time you put headphones in a case? I mean, these things have a cool little, like a semicircular case you put them in, but they fold up into it so that it's actually somewhat small. It becomes somewhat small, so you could actually throw it into a bag or something. I don't know. I'm baffled.
It's an opinionated case for sure. It's a very opinionated
divisive
design decision. It's like, here's our case and here's how you're going to have to use it. You don't have the option of using it. If you want your AirPods Max to go to sleep, then this is what you have to use. Now, they do go to sleep after 2 hours if you just leave them out, but how much battery drains in that time, right? So, okay, let me continue. There's some other factoids here. Yeah, go ahead.
Just tell me this. Okay, say that you are going somewhere. Let's say you're going to, you're going to hop on the train and go to downtown San Francisco, if there was anything open there to go see. Would you take that case with you? I can't imagine that you would. Where would you put it?
You'd have to. You'd have to take them with you.
But you're not gonna.
Well, you're gonna once you realize that they're not gonna go to sleep. Then you're gonna. I mean, that's the weird thing is like you have to use them. They're built into the design. That's kind of what makes them weird. Like if Apple had just given you a case and said, "Oh, you can use this case if you want," then you could choose not to. But this, I mean, if you want them to go to sleep, you have to use this case. Now, that's not totally true. Some people in the chat are pointing out that if you take them off your ears and just leave them for 2 hours, then they will go to sleep. But that's 2 hours.
And what do they got? They supposedly have 20 hours of
battery life, yeah.
Charge time. Right?
Okay.
Or, not charge time, battery life. Oh, well, okay. I don't get it.
All right, well, let's talk about the other features here. Noise canceling. So they're supposed to have the same high-quality level of noise canceling that the AirPods Pro do, and I've already heard some people say that this works really well, but the reviews are just coming out now, so we're going to have to wait and see how people like them once they put them through more scenarios. I'm taking mine on a flight in January. So I will have more to say about this. That's the ultimate sound test, in my opinion. If they can drown out the droning sound of airplane jets and actually allow you to enjoy your content, then for me, I'll be pretty happy. They have dynamic EQ, which initially I wasn't super excited by, which has happened. But, here's the thing about dynamic EQ. They do it on HomePods. It actually works really well. I think the HomePods sound like little angels singing to me. I have my own chorus of angels every day that sing to me. So initially I was a little concerned by this, but then I thought, well, it works on Apple's other audio products, which I love, as you all know. So I have no reason to think that this is not going to work well on the AirPods Max too. And the other thing is it's supposed to account for like the shape of your head, the seal that you have on your ear, if you have glasses on, so all that stuff. Now that could just be marketing speak.
The shape of your head?
Yeah. Yeah, look at the shapes of our head, Lewis. Here's mine. It's like angular, muscular. And yours kind of looks like a squash. Angles,
oh my,
muscles, squash.
What kind of squash? Delicata?
I think it's more like a spaghetti. That's the round one, right?
Almighty.
Well, this is what they were saying before, wasn't it? That this is why they had production problems, because the band was squeezing some people's heads too tightly.
That's right.
Squashing some people's heads.
It's like you look like Arnold Schwarzenegger when he got sucked out into Mars in Total Recall, and your eyes
right.
like I think we need to loosen the tension on that strap. Okay, so magnificent build quality, sings like angels, noise canceling, magnetic bra. And with all these features combined, people are excited. These are sold out everywhere. All the colors are now totally sold out for weeks, 13 to 15 weeks, which we know is a ploy to get you to have deep, eradicable FOMO so that you go out and do what me and Lander did and buy a pair right away. But I'm excited, man. I mean, they're expensive, yeah, but if they really deliver on that beautiful, nuanced audio experience, if you really can get a hi-fi experience via AirPlay on your ears, Apple's going to have something here. I would say that they're creating a whole new product category. And one of the things that kind of resonated with me is we saw a review by MKBHD. Do we have it in here? Yeah, I won't play it because I don't want to get dinged. But we'll put it in the show notes. And one of the things that he was saying, I could probably play it if I put it on mute. There we go. One of the things that he was saying was that there's not really anything to compare these two, which is true because there are other Bluetooth headphones out there, or there are other wireless headphones, but they use Bluetooth, and this is a completely different technology. So this is kind of like a strange amalgamation of a wired high-fidelity pair of headphones and then the convenience of a wireless set of headphones, but you still get the hi-fi sound. It's just a really weird combo. And so there's nothing really to compare it to. So I'm looking forward to getting mine and trying them out. But there are some things that are missing from these headphones, right, Lewis? They weren't able to work in everything that we thought they were going to.
Yeah, like AirPlay.
They worked in AirPlay. What?
Okay, just kidding. I don't know, man. I was just looking at the tech specs. I don't see AirPlay listed on the page. But okay, well, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, okay, I'm gonna look this up while you're yammering.
Okay.
Because I got to bring this up now. So go ahead. I'm going to look this up while you're talking.
Right. Okay. So Apple's U1 chip, which lets devices more accurately connect to others nearby using ultra-wideband technology, didn't make it into Apple's pricey new headphones. Kind of thought they would. The chip, which Apple introduced in 2019 with the iPhone 11, was rumored to show up in the AirPods Max. But the Gurminator, Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, pointed out that Apple had to scrap a number of big features that it planned to include in the high-end headphones. That's the big kind of like hidden tech that was supposed to be in it, supposedly. But there are other things missing too. Like they're not water resistant or anything like that.
Well, not that we know of. We're not totally sure about that, but don't you think they would bring that up?
Yeah, it says, Apple makes no claims about water resistance. So, don't go jogging in the rain. Don't go getting sweaty at the gym, probably. Um, there also early on there was talks that there would be like swappable headbands, right? I mean, now you can swap out the ear cups, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some people are already talking about just mixing and matching the colors, which whatever. But the headbands are there; they are what they are. And did you notice that the green ones have white headbands?
I did not notice that.
It's white. It's pure white. And the other ones like the blue ones have dark blue headbands. The pink ones have dark pink or red headbands. But the green ones are white. White.
That's
Quite
weird.
odd. Yeah, it does. I saw that. I did a double take. I went back and I thought, well, maybe they all have white ones. I just didn't notice it. But no, it's just the green ones and the white ones. But so anyway, that's what's MIA from the AirPods Max.
The U1 chip, that's one that people were making a big deal about that, weren't they, before it came out? Because then it'll help you find your headphones really easily with Find My.
Yeah, I mean it's supposed to be really helpful for a lot of things, and it seems to be like they're chucking them everything now, right? I mean, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly how that would work with audio. If it would work with audio, if it would have anything to do with audio. Does it have anything to do with spatial positioning or anything like that? Probably not. I don't know.
Well, there was talk about using it to build 3D maps using echolocation. There was a whole discussion about this on Twitter yesterday.
Really?
Which I don't know if the U1 chip does that, but there was like people. Robert Scoble was hyping all this stuff up about how it's going to use echolocation to do indoor mapping and identify objects. Apparently, it's so accurate that it can, identify individual objects. But then, if it doesn't have this chip, then it can't do any of that. Plus, it'll seem kind of really, a little bit silly.
Well, I mean, that's how the regular HomePods EQ themselves to the room, right? And that's how they do Atmos. They bounce things off somehow through, and I don't know what part of the hardware does that. So
do they have U1 chips in the HomePod?
I don't think the original one did.
HomePod Minis, I think, yes, but original HomePods, I think, no. At least as far as I've heard. All right, look, I think I found a page. This is not the page I was looking at before.
Oh.
But this page is interesting, and this might prove me wrong. I might have to eat my boot here.
Oh, man, you're just going to have to rewind. And
so this was not the page I was
delete.
looking at yesterday. This is a completely different page. This is AirPlay 2 requirements from Apple's website, right? And they're saying that devices you can stream audio from, iPhone, Mac, iPod Touch, Apple TV 4K, Apple TV HD, HomePod, PC. Oh, wow, look at that. You can stream audio from. Okay. Devices you can stream audio to, but this just says AirPlay technology. You can't stream from a PC, can you? I guess if you have iTunes, it's built in. Devices you can stream to: Apple TV 4K, Apple TV HD, HomePod, but it doesn't say HomePod Mini here, which is interesting. So clearly there's some stuff missing here. And then speakers connected to the audio port on the Airport Express 802. I'm not going to read all this. We don't care.
I mean, I don't want to burst your bubble, but if you go to the AirPods Max page, the tech specs page, and you go to connectivity, you know what it says?
Bluetooth?
Bluetooth.
Let's see here. I'm going there right now. So I'm on the
search
AirPods.
for AirPlay.
On
Doesn't
the
show up anywhere.
On the AirPods Max page. Okay. Oh,
I'm
wait,
gonna
no.
flag that video myself.
Music,
Want me to
AirPods
send it to
Max. Well, I'm still not convinced. I think that they might update some of this documentation as we go forward. And you said go to tech specs?
Yeah, I had dropped a link in there. Yeah, it's just on the Apple page. They got the little tech specs tab, and AirPlay does not. Did you get this information from Alex Jones?
Oh, well, Bluetooth 5. Okay. Okay, well, clearly this is going to warrant some more investigation. Now, maybe Apple is using their own codec for Bluetooth. Look, what I know is this. I was right and Lewis was wrong. That's what I know. Here's what I know. There's no way I can imagine a scenario where Apple is selling a pair of high fidelity headphones, and it connects via a lossy signal like regular Bluetooth. So maybe there's something in Bluetooth 5. So these ones are using Bluetooth 5, which is the newest version of Bluetooth. So maybe there's something within Bluetooth 5 that allows them to do this, or maybe they are using AirPlay, but it hasn't been added to this page yet, which I think would be odd. I really do. But I can't imagine they're releasing a pair of high fidelity headphones that don't have the high and just the fi. It's like you're getting fi, you're just getting fidelity. It's like, well, what about the high? Don't worry about the high. The fi is enough. The sound signal is going to be there. Don't worry about the sound quality.
I mean, this is what you get back to, right? I mean, hi-fi, audiophile stuff. It's all physical connections. It's all, nothing is compressed. Think about Neil Young he did that digital Pono thing, right? I mean, that was uncompressed files.
Oh, dude, that was hilarious. I cannot believe that you remember the name of that player. You took it way back.
Those articles, so long ago, reading about that. But I mean, these are people who buy digital amps, preamps to run between their computer and their headphones. Spend hundreds of dollars on a little preamp, right, to warm up the sound. So I don't know. I don't think Apple is against wireless stuff. I think Apple Music is compressed audio, right? It sounds good.
Yeah, but it's losslessly compressed. That's the key. Is it lossy or is it lossless?
I don't think that music on Apple Music is lossless.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that too.
Tidal, a competing streaming service that I've never once talked to anybody who uses it. They built their reputation on that, right?
Yeah.
But that's the knock on. Well, that was the knock on CDs, and now it's again the knock on just streaming music in general.
Well, I think we're conflating two things here. There's the signal, there's the compression of the music itself, right? But then there's the connection between your device and your headphones.
Oh, you're talking about the additional compression.
Well, yeah, I mean that's really kind of like the important part, right? So yeah, I think we're kind of going off into the weeds there about compression. But so if these are just using Bluetooth and you're streaming a lossy stream from your computer to your iPhone to your AirPods Max, that's like putting regular unleaded in a Lamborghini. That makes no sense, right? You got to
call Tim right after the recording.
You got to put premium grade 92 octane in your Lambo. Otherwise, it's gonna completely fall apart. So that would make no sense. That's the piece that we're missing here, and we're gonna have to do some more research and come back about this because clearly there's some puzzle pieces that just they're not fitting together for me. And
I'm utterly confused at this point.
Well, these are so new that I think we're still learning information on the go. So all that being said, were there some other features, Lewis, here that we forgot, or did you already touch on all of them? Because while you were vamping, I was trying to look up this story, and I literally did not pay attention to a single thing you said.
Should we talk about the fact that they didn't come with a cool-looking case?
Well, speak for yourself.
Actually, another thing, it wasn't here in the show notes, but I remember initially there was talk that the what are they called? Ear cups. The outside of those would have touch panels, right?
Right.
And no, that didn't happen. Instead, they got the little digital crown. Speaking of which, you've looked at the pictures by now. Digital crown is up like back behind your ear.
Yeah.
Does that seem like an odd place to put that? And the other button up at the top, usually isn't it low at the bottom? I don't know.
I kind of like it, actually. And you know what?
Maybe it's awesome.
Honestly, I like the fact that it has a tactile button on it rather than touch, because I almost universally always prefer to have a tactile button rather than something that you have to dig through the menu or you have to touch it with your hand. And now, are you wearing a glove that has a touch capacitive fingertip on it? Because so there's just, I think I would just prefer to have the digital crown. I honestly, I think that's a really elegant way of doing that.
Did they say that it's like a haptic digital crown? Does it give you the haptic feedback like on the watch?
I heard that it was, but
I hope so.
I would imagine it has to be, because otherwise you're going to have no feedback, right?
Yeah. I mean, I love the crown on the watch, so...
Yeah, me too.
Might be an awesome thing. And I agree with you. I like
buttons.
I like some of that stuff. Some of those like actual knobs and actual buttons. Sometimes the touch stuff is like not so intuitive or whatever. But then again, it's kind of odd once again because with regular AirPods and the other ones, those touch interfaces are kind of cool. It's kind of weird that it's like almost regressive.
Right, because I got pretty used to using the taps on the AirPods, and that seems to me kind of appropriate. It would have kept it consistent, wouldn't it? You wouldn't be going, off in the weeds.
All right, I think we have sufficiently covered every angle of the AirPods Max. We'll have our full reviews coming. We had to pay for them just like everybody else. Apple's not sending us stuff a week ahead of time. I wish they would. I'd literally say whatever they wanted. They could write me a script. Tim Cook could write me a script, and I'd be like, AirPods Max are the best sounding headphones that I have ever used. They sound like angels. I will read whatever you write, Tim Cook. Just send them to me a week ahead of time so I can get those delicious clicks on my YouTube page. I don't care what you write. All right. Before we move on here, and I think we should move on, should we talk about, just real quick, the luxurious, the exclusive, the premium experience that you get in the Cult of Mac watch store? Who wants to do it? Lewis? I'm going to send it to Leander, but he's going to just divert to you, so you might as well just take it.
God. I don't even know what special products.
You don't even need to highlight any special products. Just talk about the general.
Well, we got some new stuff in from Bacado. Some sport bands, which are 30% off. And they're super nice. They look really, really good. They're it's like a big cuff. Looks like sort of a gladiator, something that Russell Crowe would wear, when he's like slashing other gladiators to death. But it has a big cuff, and it's a sport band. It's made out of something sporty. They come in a range of colors.
I think it's made out of sporty spice, isn't it? It's a very premium material. Yeah.
I think they look really good. They got a camo one. They got a black one, a blue one.
Would you say it was called, Leander? I'm looking it up right now.
They look different, that's for sure.
What's the name of it?
Yeah, they're distinctive, and they're normally $60, and they're down to 42. And Bacado.
Bacado. It's literally right in front of me.
Front and center, 30% off.
Oh, dude, I like this one. I like camo. I'm a camo guy. Oh yeah, that was nice, dude. I like it. And
I think they're pretty good looking, pretty nice bands.
Mm-hmm.
Sporty.
They soak up the sweat, I'm guessing.
I'll bet.
They probably do, actually. I have profusely sweaty wrists too, so that's important to me.
Go with your ears.
No, those are your ears. Don't blame the ears on me. Those are your ears. They had to put those vents in for your sweaty ears.
You seem to know so much about it. I thought that maybe
I just
one of us. One of us.
I just am talking about what I heard about you, Liz. All right, so store.cultofmac.com. Store.cultofmac. Store.cultofmac.com. Store.cultofmac.com. I'm going to whip my tongue later on with a car antenna to discipline it for getting that flubbed so bad. All right, Leander, let's move on. Let's talk about Apple Car Reborn. Could it hit the road in 2024? Leander, what did you think of this story? This is a crazy story. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, we're not jumping over Lewis. Wasn't Lewis going to talk about?
We already did it.
We've already kicked that.
We did it.
That was worked in. Yes, I just skipped it.
We don't even. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, the Apple Car seems like it's back on the track. Crazy talk. The last I'd heard, it was dead in the water. There were all those rumors that they'd laid off all the teams. And there was all these leadership changes, and then it was talk about it was going to be just like a bus to take Apple workers from one campus to another, software only. Anyway, it seems like it's moving ahead with the autonomous vehicle. It's reportedly talking to component makers, and it might unveil the car in 2024 or 2025. So, obviously Apple keeps all this stuff under wraps. But there's undoubtedly something going on here. So, Tim Cook talked about it as the mother of all autonomous projects back in 2017. They've had a fleet of test vehicles here in California that have been testing autonomous, software. But this is like a big deal. So according to Digitimes, which is the Taiwanese sort of trade paper, they've been checking on the cost of supplying parts for this autonomous vehicle. So they're talking to, vehicle part suppliers about supplying parts for an Apple car. And they're also apparently talking to TSMC. How do you pronounce that? TSMC, the
Sounds good to
Taiwanese
me.
semiconductor manufacturing company, which they already make the iPhone, the processors for the iPhone, the Mac, and the iPad. And apparently they're going to be making a chip for the car too, and it's been described as a self-driving car chip. And so apparently Apple has a preliminary design that's already eyeing a factory in the US. And there's some talk, and it's going to be all electric and probably autonomous or semi-autonomous. And then they keep on poaching executives and engineers from Tesla. Doug Field, who manages the project, which is called Project Titan on a day-to-day basis, is a Tesla alumni, for example. And Digitime's not alone. Analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, who's probably the best Apple analyst out there, in 2018 said he expects the Apple to introduce autonomous vehicle between 2023 and 2025. So yeah, surprising. This thing's, it's a pretty detailed report from Digitimes with a lot of details, and some bold claims. If they're starting to look at parts for this thing, then, they're looking at industrializing it. So it looks like it's on track, if this is true.
And that wasn't even the only Apple Car story this week.
Right.
They apparently had a reorg. Bob Mansfield is retiring, and they're putting the Project Titan under the leadership of, oh my God, how do you pronounce this guy's name? John Gianandrea.
And he came from Google, didn't he? He's the AI honcho.
Yeah, he's there. He's head of AI and everything like that. And it's just kind of like, whoa! All of a sudden, this thing that we had just kind of almost completely written off seems like suddenly bubbling back to the surface. It's very odd.
Almost, yeah. It was dead in the water. We had multiple stories about how dead it was, dead and buried.
Well,
Project Titan laid off all their staff. They were working on the weird Volkswagen bus project. I mean, that was the end of it for me. I was like, okay, this has clearly gone downhill.
Really?
Oh,
They
yeah.
continue to file patents and things.
Right. But there was all
We've
this
never
talk about,
seen
it seemed like the consensus that it was going to be software only. They'd abandoned the hardware part.
Yeah.
And they were just looking at the software, which that kind of didn't make much sense, really, given Apple's, how they love to own the whole banana, the whole widget, the hardware and the software.
I do like
so
the
I can't see,
bananas.
are they going to do a Microsoft and just license like software? I can't see that happening at all.
Me either. Here, I'll tell you what
But
happened.
it's a big project. I mean, they're going to do custom chips for it. That's crazy talk.
Here's
They're
what-
doing that anyway.
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know. It is a weird one because this has got to be a big project if it's a car. I mean, this is one of the world's biggest industries, and the lack of leaks about it and all the contradictory leaks. Like I was always skeptical of the leaks, but I think it was kind of like a little bit of wishful thinking. Like I wanted Apple to produce an autonomous car. So like I was always kind of bummed out when they said they killed the project or they'd laid off this person or that person or there was all these problems. So I kind of didn't want to believe, but there was so much conflicting information and it kind of flew in the face of what, all these, they've laid it off. But on the other hand, they've got a whole fleet of vehicles like running around California doing testing. So it was I'm glad to see it's back on track.
I'll tell you what happened right here. TC, Tim Cook, he had a look at Tesla's stock graph. I'm looking at the 1 month stock graph. Here's the 6 month. And it's just going straight up. It's just been going up.
Like one of their rockets, yeah. But you know what happens with Tesla's rockets? Or Elon's rockets.
They land gently back down on the ground.
Some of them do.
Eventually they land on the ground. And then here's Apple stock. It's just been going sideways for months, for probably, 4 months now. And just doing nothing. Ever since the split, sadly for me, it's just been going sideways. Meanwhile, I got major Tesla FOMO because their stock is just going up, up, up. Tesla had a split too, in case you weren't aware, and it's just going up like 5% a day, 6% a day, 8% a day. It's crazy. So I think TC was like, we got to get back in this car business, y'all, because they want their stock to look like this Tesla stock graph. That's probably
look
not
what happened with Uber,
at all.
though. I mean, Uber's turned over its project, to a startup. Although Uber seems to be kind of like offloading all of these expensive research R&D projects. But this is not I think people were predicting, autonomous driving, all the billions of dollars that went into it, we'd have them by now, and I think it's looking, like a very tough nut to crack, and some people I've seen some really pessimistic stuff recently, sort of saying that they'll never have autonomous cars. Like, Rodney Brooks, who was an AI pioneer, he's saying that we're going to have to re-architect the entire, cities in order to accommodate autonomous vehicles.
Huh.
Like they're not going to be working. They won't work now. We've built a human mobility environment, it's designed for humans. And if you want the one that's designed for robots, you're going to have to design one for robots, which I thought was a good point and interesting.
I kind of think that maybe we won't see it anytime soon. People keep talking about how it's right around the corner. I don't think it is. I think we're at least 10 years away. Elon Musk seems to think it's right around the corner, but it's been right around the corner for 5 years.
Yeah, well, they've just, I mean, they're calling, they just released that a paid upgrade, right, where you get self-driving, which is really kind of reckless, I think, but especially with the Tesla system, because it only uses cameras. They don't have LiDAR, but I mean, he's pushing it like it's already here. For current Tesla owners, which I think is really sort of, I don't want to get run over by a Tesla anytime soon.
Well, got to get those upgrades, right? I mean, they include the hardware in the car no matter what, and then you got to pay them for the software upgrade.
Yeah,
so it's actually
right.
really smart marketing. It's like, it's right around the corner. Do you want your car to come pick you up? Do you want to be able to use it autonomously? You just pay us the $6,000 now, because later it's going to be more.
But there have been some good videos, though. I mean, I've seen some people put videos up, of their Tesla, driving around pretty well, it looks like. But it's those edge cases, I mean, it was an Apple engineer, wasn't it? It was killed on the freeway here when there was some roadworks, and Tesla was on self-driving mode, and it misjudged it and it whacked him straight into a wall.
Oh, I didn't hear about that. And so wow. And he died.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah, dude, I would not be driving with my hands off the wheel with a Tesla. I just that kind of thing scares me. If for no other reason other than the car just doesn't feel like it's set up for autonomous driving. I mean, you're sitting there cramped in front of the wheel. It's like, what do you do with your hands? Like, normally when you're driving, your hands are on the wheel, right? And if you don't have your hands on the wheel, it just feels awkward to me to be like sitting there with your hands crossed, just hoping that the car doesn't drive.
Well,
you to the side
people
rail.
are taking a nap.
That is crazy.
There was some footage of a guy he was full on fast asleep in the fast lane, as his car's speeding down 101.
You see him in the rear view, he's just like, he like zooms by you at like 90.
Right. And there was some guy that as well, didn't he get a DUI, I think? He was drunk as heck. I mean, but he was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm not driving. The car's driving."
That's actually a really smart defense. You're like, I wasn't driving. My car was.
Was he in the driver's seat?
Yeah, he was in the driver's seat.
Well, there you go.
If he crawled up in the back, he probably would have been all right.
Do you have to be in the driver's seat when you're driving a Tesla in autonomous mode? Do you have to be there, or can you just go crawl in the back?
I think so, yeah. I think so, but I don't think their controls are very good. Like some of them have some of the other vehicle assistance systems have a camera inside the car, and it's watching the driver and making sure, and sensors on the steering wheel,
making sure they don't leave.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't like this thing you can't be in the back seat taking a nap. But I don't think Tesla does that. I think Teslas are pretty lax. I'm not sure though.
Well, I gotta say, one of the most important parts of the story, and Lewis, you touched on it, is it's the end of an era. It's the end of Bob Mansfield, one of my favorite Apple executives. At Apple, he is officially gone. He's been there doing who knows what as a fellow, and just getting paid tons of money, and now he's gone. And here's a picture of him in a recent video talking about his departure from Apple, and you can see he's been living the dream. He looks nice. He looks good. He's clearly enjoying his life. So he is officially gone from Apple, and it's the end of an era. I kind of miss these older executives. They're all leaving, and now it's like everyone on stage is like someone I've never seen before. And I miss the good old days. You know what I'm saying? I miss the good old days. All right. I think that's it as far as Apple news goes. God, what a lot of stuff we had to talk about this week. Exciting week full of news. We're going to go ahead and move on to a little segment that we call our best picks. It's very original. Our best picks of 2020. It's a little segment that we came up with, and it's original to this show. You're not going to hear about picks of the year from anyone else. Only we do it here at the Cult Cast. And we got a variety of topics that we're going to be talking about over the course of the next weeks leading up until the new year. And we're going to start this week with the best shows of 2020, because this is one that we always tend to work into the show anyway, and we always have some shows that we can pitch, and we didn't have a lot of time to prepare, so we're just going to go with the shows, because we all got some shows that we can talk about. Lewis.
Oh, really? Me first?
Would you like to go after Leander? Who's going to go first?
Nice.
Leander, best show of the year. Now, let me just caveat with, it would be good if the show came out in 2020, but if you just watched it in 2020, you really enjoyed it, didn't come out in 2020, look, we keep it fast and loose on this show. I think that's sufficient.
Okay. Oh, is it my turn?
Yeah, we're waiting for you.
Talk about the best show.
We're waiting for
the only
you
show
now.
that I actually really gave my full attention to was called Industry, and it just debuted a couple of weeks ago. It's a co-production between the BBC and HBO.
The BBC,
and it's about a bunch of young, recent college grads who go work for a big bank in London. And they're there for like I think about it's they're supposed to be sort of auditioning for half of them will get cut, so they auditioning for the permanent jobs at the bank, and it just sort of shows how kind of cutthroat this whole thing is. But there's tons of sex, tons of drugs.
Oh, now we know why you like it.
Right.
And tons of backstabbing. And
Like the
I thought,
Mac office.
yeah, right, exactly. Precisely. I thought it was a good show. I thought it was really interesting. Not that I understood it all, though. Like I got to admit, it's one of the few rare shows that doesn't telegraph everything that's going on. You have to pay attention to figure out what's happening and what people's motivations were. And so it was like one of the few shows where I didn't sit there with an iPad, like scrolling through Twitter, only paying half attention. Like, I paid full attention to this show, which is the first time I've done that for a TV show for years.
Wow. It got your
And it
full
was,
attention, the coveted full Leander attention. That never happens.
Right, exactly. That's why I figured it had to be one of the best shows, because it actually did get, I had to really, really watch it carefully. And I still didn't understand what happened. Like, I'm still totally confused. I was looking up I was trying to find some recaps, that would explain it to me. And the only one that I could find that wasn't totally dumb was in the Wall Street Journal, but it's behind a paywall. So I still haven't been able, and I'm too cheap to pay for the Wall Street Journal, so I still haven't figured out exactly what happened. But I thought it was a good show. I thought it was a really interesting show, well written, really well acted, great cast. If anything, there was like too much sex and drugs. I was kind of more interested in the workplace drama, and I'd like to have seen more of that.
Oh, come on. That's like saying you got a subscription to Playboy because you love the articles. Give me a break. I don't buy that for a minute.
They wrote good articles.
Top-notch journalism.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Leanna, they do have good articles. Look, I mean, they've got great articles. That's why I have my subscription. Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, that was about it. I
Okay.
kind of wrapped up.
They it looks like they just got renewed for a second season.
Oh, really?
And
Cool.
you can watch the first episode for free. It's on HBO, by the way. So if you have HBO, you can watch it. If not, you can take a hike off a short pier. That's called Industry. Long hike off a short pier. Okay. I'm going to go next, Lewis, and you can go last. Since you made such a big fuss about going first, I'm going to let you go last. I have 3 shows. I'm only going to talk about one, and then I'm going to do honorable mentions, okay? Because I don't have all the time in the world. We're already at frickin' an hour and, I don't even know, 40 minutes since we started broadcasting. We've been broadcasting for too long. YouTube's going to kick us off. Okay, my show of the year. God, what a great show. The Mandalorian. It was a surprise. How do I say this? It was surprisingly good. I was expecting it to be like the other Star Wars content we've seen recently, where it just didn't really have a compelling story. It was kind of confusing. There was too much political nonsense woven in. Like, I don't want any of that stuff. I just want a pure Star Wars experience. And this show is a lot of fun. It has that magical, whimsical, nostalgic feeling that Star Wars used to have and has kind of veered off track lately. And it's made really well. The music is phenomenal. The stories are engaging. They make you want to come back every week. The characters are fun. Well, I don't want to give away any spoilers, but so I'll stop there. But It is in season 2 right now. It's on Disney Plus, and Disney Plus is so cheap. I think you can get Disney Plus if you subscribe for a whole year. I think it's like $5 or $6 a month, and you
I
get.
think I got it for free.
You did?
For just for buying an iPhone, or switching to an unlimited data plan. Actually, is what it was.
You
They
got
throw
Disney
it in
Plus for
Verizon,
free?
Verizon
Wow.
tosses it in.
Wow, you're kidding me. That's crazy. I bought it for 3 years before it came out, so they had like this special deal where if you just subscribe for 3 years up front, they would give it to you for like $4.50 a month. So that's what I did, and I'm in my first year. I love it, man. You get all of Disney's content, and they have a massive backlog of content. I mean, it's Disney, right? I mean, you get all the Marvel movies, you get all the Star Wars stuff, and you get the massive backlog, the massive catalog that they have had for the last, 80 years. You get all that stuff. So it's really cool. Tons of content on there. Are you going to say
Does
something,
it get
Lewis?
better in season 2? Because I totally lost interest halfway through season 1.
Shocking.
What? He wasn't
Well,
staring at the screen.
There's no French and subtitles, so there's not two boring British guys on a beach with metal detectors. So that's not surprising that you didn't like it.
That's right.
There's way too much action. There's way too much story.
I just couldn't find it that compelling. I just thought it was really silly, and like the shootouts went, great.
You mean the stormtroopers who never hit anything?
Yeah,
Right,
but
exactly.
they do
They're just, like,
jokes
kind
on
of
that
on a-
exact
What
issue.
Good as
Star Wars.
stormtrooper armor. I mean, does it actually stop anything?
I was thinking the same thing. I would say, actually, this was the show I was going to say too, because I love it. I just started watching it a couple of weeks ago, right? Or a month ago, whatever, and burned through the first season, working through the second season. I think it's awesome. It is. It's all those things. It's not some cerebral sci-fi thing. Every week is a new episode with a new thing, a new adventure. It's awesome. And that cute little thing. I mean, come on.
Baby Yoda.
Yeah, you've always got the little baby Yoda.
Has he
that
taken his
they can
helmet off
point at.
yet?
Yeah, he
He
takes
took
it off.
his helmet
but
off once, but
Isn't it
almost
played
never.
by- it's played by what's his face, isn't it? One of the world's. Who's the
Tim
actor who
Cook.
plays?
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about him?
Well, I saw him in Narcos and Game of Thrones and a couple other things.
Oh, I don't know anything about him. I never even heard of the guy.
No,
he's a-
yeah,
Dang, let me turn this.
He's a-
Let me turn this brightness down. Holy moly! I'm like broadcasting from heaven here. Why didn't you guys tell me? It's so bright in here. I look like a goldarn
So-
angel. I mean, I am an angel, but Sorry, go ahead, Lewis.
I think it's a great show. I can't believe that. Well, I can believe that Leander's poo-pooing it, but it's basically Clint Eastwood in an Iron Man suit, right? I mean, it's
well,
it's
but they
just-
didn't have the funny lines.
You
Are there any funny
mean
lines?
you mean the Mandalorian
There's-
doesn't have funny lines?
Yeah, like
Oh,
you
what
say,
are you
it's like
talking
Clint
about?
Eastwood, but it's
It's
don't know.
chock full of funny lines. That's the thing about it that I love the most is clearly it was written by people who revere the work of Star Wars, and it's written by people who are fans of Star Wars. Unlike maybe some of the previous work that has happened. So it feels fun. It feels kind of campy in some situations, but man, that last
Yeah.
episode with when they went to that planet that was like super polluted. I mean, I don't know if it was polluted, but it looked like it was dirty. It looked like all the air was dirty. And the Mandalorian had to go in there and break into that town. You know what I'm talking about, Lewis?
I probably haven't got to that one
Oh,
just
you
yet.
haven't? Oh, man. There's this
But,
girl with 2 lightsabers. Anyway, it was
Uh-huh.
it was a good episode. And lightsabers are white, which I've never seen a white lightsaber before. It was a pretty cool episode. Okay, hold on. Let me just touch upon my 2 other honorable mentions. Netflix, Messiah. This is a show I've talked about before. Man, this show grabbed me and it didn't let go. This was such a great show. I think the second season's coming back in 2021. It's been delayed. The premise of this show is this guy shows up in the Middle East and he seems to have these strange supernatural powers. And then he starts showing up in other parts of the world and he's able to do things that look like he is not a human. And he starts to build a following. And then the CIA gets involved because he's building like a following in the Middle East. And like, who is this guy? What are his motivations? And that's kind of the premise of the show. Like, who is this guy? And why is he going around performing what look to be miracles? And sometimes they'll
Is it David Blaine?
yeah, it's David Blaine. It's a documentary. He holds his breath for like 20 minutes. It's amazing. And he has these magical powers, but they seem like magical powers. And then they'll look behind the scenes and like, well, wait a second, that could be an illusion. Maybe he did it like this. And so you're left kind of wondering, like, is this guy just an illusionist trying to scam people into following him for some reason? And if he is, what are his motivations? And if that's not it, like, who is this guy, right? Is he like, he's kind of like a Jesus character? Is he actually like a prophet or something? Really good show, great cliffhanger. The other show that I'll touch on, Lost in Space. This was a remake of the original Lost in Space. I know I hear Lewis laughing. It originally came out in 2018. I got into it this year, and I thought it was great. Every episode was so fun. It's so well produced. It's amazing, man. It's amazing the quality of content Netflix and Disney Plus and these streaming networks are producing now. This is the future of content, and they're making content that's better than most movies now. It's unreal. So 3 shows I really loved this year. All definitely worth your time. And I've got nothing to watch right now. There's like, because of Beer Bug, there's like nothing being made, you know? So I'm just watching myself twiddle my thumbs. All right, Lewis, take us away.
Well, this is what I was afraid of. I was afraid we'd pick the same show. So, I'll go with a couple other shows that I watched.
Were you going to pick The Mandalorian?
Yeah, I was.
I thought maybe you were just agreeing with me, like
pre-planning.
I thought maybe you were just agreeing with me, like, oh yeah, that's a great pick.
That's why I was trying to get you earlier today to get you to say which channel you were talking about. If you said Disney Plus, I said it's The Mandalorian.
I can't believe that's your pick. I didn't realize you were a Star Wars guy.
I love it.
Are you a Star Wars guy? You have historically liked Star Wars?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, sure.
Wow.
In fact, like the thing that's awesome about it is it really gets that like original movie vibe, right? Because it's kind of schlocky, it's kind of fun. It's just fun all the time, all day fun.
All day fun. Lewis Wallace. They should have that in the Mandalorian trailer. Okay, go ahead.
So I've mostly been watching stuff on Apple TV just because that's what we do here. But so one show that I absolutely recommend. I thought it was amazing. I mean, it's a little bit strange calling a nature documentary my favorite show, but it really is fantastic. I don't know, have you seen Tiny World?
It's called Tiny World?
Tiny World.
Sorry, I'm looking at the chat here because Brandon Telford is saying Messiah's canceled. Messiah's been canceled. Oh no. That's a kick in the nards.
There you go.
Wow, that's really sad. There was another show when I was a kid that I was like super into called Earth 2. And then it got canceled on this major cliffhanger. That was sad. Okay, Tiny World. Sorry, Liz. Back to you.
You're never going to find out if he really is a Messiah or not.
No,
right?
we never know. We're never going to know if he was the actual Messiah. Man. Oh, man. That's so sad. Sorry. So Tiny World. I haven't heard of it, Lewis. I'm pulling it up right now, though. So
you haven't heard of it at all? Never once?
I have heard of the... No, I haven't.
All right. So it's a nature documentary, and of course it focuses on little bitty creatures. And I thought for sure that we actually talked about this. I can't even remember. But it's just really amazing, the footage that they get. Each episode, there's only 6 of them. Each one I think they're half-hour long. Each one focuses on a different ecosystem, like the outback or a Caribbean island, or one of them is even actually about a backyard, like a British backyard. But it's just, you watch that show and you're just going to be like, how in the world did they get that footage? And the one that I keep thinking about is this episode with the Caribbean, right? They have this lizard and a hurricane is coming, and this thing is like standing on this like reed of grass or something, or maybe it's a twig, I don't know, but it's standing there, and wind starts coming, and then like it's holding on and it's holding on, and then whoa, its front legs get taken back, and it's like leaning back like David Lee Roth on one of those early album covers, and it's holding on with its feet onto this little thing and then it finally gets hold of it. We're talking about hurricane winds, and this thing on a little tiny. It's how did they get that footage? I just don't know. It seems astonishing that it even happened. And so, I mean, if you like nature and you like, really short and informative documentaries. That show is really worth watching.
You can't go wrong with a good nature documentary, really, can you? They're almost all fantastic these days. Like I said, the filming is just astounding.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm looking at this right now in the background, Lewis. This is incredible. I mean,
It's
some of these
awesome.
shots that they're getting, they're like macro shots. They just had
Yeah.
a scene where a camera like zooms underneath a leaf and then like focuses on this lizard. What? How did you get that shot?
Yeah, they have. There's this one scene in one of them where these two little tiny frogs are like the size of your fingernail or something are like wrestling, and they the way that they present the footage, with excellent audio and everything like that. It's like it's just like Godzilla battle, right? But they're these little tiny creatures. It's really great. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen. There's another one on Apple TV now called Earth. What is it called? Earth at Night.
In color. Earth at Night in color.
Earth at Night in color. So that's what's kind of cool about both of these shows is that they both have a different kind of a theme, right? Like I haven't seen one that's strictly about little tiny creatures and focuses extensively on like, oh, here's a snake. Oh, but it's the size of a piece of pasta. I mean, and you're looking at it, it's like, what? How could it possibly be that small? How could that? It's mind blowing. It's absolutely mind blowing.
I'm sold. I'm going to watch it.
I'm going to watch it too. I'm looking at the trailer just over and over again right now. These shots are really incredible.
Watching that one about Earth at Night is Dark too, because that's supposedly really groundbreaking footage that they cannot believe that they got such amazing footage of creatures in the dark. This is something that humans have never seen before. So that these are actually great shows. If you have Apple TV Plus, if you got a free subscription to it and you never pay any attention to it because nothing's really caught your eye. If you like animals and you like nature, these things are mind-blowing.
I gotta say, with all the content that Apple's putting out, and they keep adding a lot of compelling content, I'm getting to a point where I'm starting to think it might actually be worth the $5 a month. I can't believe that I'm saying that.
You say that, really?
I'm getting to that point. I mean, they're adding content so fast.
Yeah, Ted Lasso. Have anyone seen Ted Lasso?
That was going to be my runner-up. Yes, I've watched Ted Lasso. Have you?
No,
like it?
I've not. I keep meaning to watch it.
That's the other show on Apple TV that I really like.
Yeah, people love that show.
Yeah, a lot of people in the chat have been saying Ted Lasso, Ted Lasso, Ted Lasso, Ted Lasso.
Have you seen it, Irfan?
No, I haven't seen it. I barely watched. The last show I watched on Apple TV Plus, I think it was C.
Flip it back on, man. So Ted Lasso, the premise of that is, kind of a bumpkin U.S., I think, college football football coach, goes to England and gets hired to be a coach of a didn't taking credit for it. He finds ways to get people to step up and perform. And I mean, honestly, the only thing I would say that I don't like about that show, and it's not that I don't like it, but there's some profanity, fair amount of profanity, and there's some some sex scenes, whatever. Not really sex scenes, just sexual content and stuff like that. And that doesn't bother me, but I really wish that I think the show would have been just fine without that. I don't think it really adds anything to it, and I think it would be awesome if kids could watch this show, because it's got such a positive message, and you look around at what's going on in politics in the U.S., which seems to have been our national obsession for the past 4 years. And it's just been, gutter garbage for 4 years. Both sides, everybody hates each other. Nobody wants to even talk to anybody who might possibly have voted another way. And this show it's just got heart, man. And it shows what a person with good motivation, he deals with all kinds of people trying to screw him over, players who have bad attitudes and stuff like that. It's just, and it's not a show about soccer or football at all. I mean, there's hardly any of that in it, actually. In the last episode of the first season, it was actually, I don't think there was enough of the sport itself, because it was actually it all happened so fast, it was almost kind of confusing. But it's just, it's weird. It's like he's Ned Flanders made flesh somehow. This
now
Okay,
I'm sold.
okay.
super uplifting, can't be, no matter how many times people try and screw him over, he can't be talked out of his positive attitude. And he ultimately, well, I can't tell you what
No
actually
spoilers.
ultimately happened. Yeah,
Don't
no
spoil
spoilers,
it,
but
Lewis. You convinced
you-
me. I
it's
thought it was something
it's
totally different than
legitimately
what you
funny,
described.
and it's legitimately uplifting, which is a real hard thing to pull off. And yeah, so there you go. That's my 2.
Honorable mentions from, let's see here, the chat. Peter's saying Star Trek Discovery, also quite good. I haven't watched that one, though. I am definitely, it's piqued my interest. Someone's saying Primal, Xavier saying Primal. Let's see. Lovecraft Country, Xavier saying Lovecraft Country. Haven't heard of that one.
I tried watching that. Couldn't get into it, but
No?
I might give it another shot.
Let's see
There's just
here.
too many shows.
Peter saying Peter Aludes Adami. I'm sorry, I'm looking at this from far away. I hope that's right. He's saying Servants.
Oh yeah.
Someone's
That's a
saying
good
I
one.
wish I could unsee. Come on, it wasn't that bad. Come
Did it get
on.
renewed?
It wasn't the best show I've ever seen,
Yeah.
but
Did anyone watch for All Mankind? Because that just got renewed for a 3rd season.
I couldn't
even
get
through
past
the first
episode 3. Me either. I was like, this is
Yeah.
one of the most boring shows I've ever seen in my
It
entire
was
life.
like, sub right stuff.
Let's see here. All right. Okay. Well, look, we've been streaming for 6.5 hours now. So I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up there because YouTube's going to kick us off here. Actually, they just gave me a pop-up that said we were streaming copyrighted content in the background.
What?
I didn't even have the audio
'Cause-
on.
'cause
And
you
I
had
was
a
like, I'm
trailer?
playing well, I went to the Apple TV Plus page and it auto-played a video in the background and it was muted so we couldn't hear it. And they were flagging it for copyright. I'm like, this is the show page. You're showing me the
Wow.
trailer for the content. Wow, I got to be careful.
Are trailers not fair use?
I mean, that's what I
it's
thought too.
advertising.
Yeah, we're promoting your
This
show.
crap's getting out of hand.
Yeah, it's wild, man. Wild West. All right.
YouTube, you need to check yourself.
The Gamer 01 says you guys are old farts.
Yeah,
Look,
that's true.
How dare you talk about Leander and Lewis that way? I will not have you talking about these guys in my presence. Like us young guys, we got to respect the older generation, okay? So you take that back. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up there. I think that's enough for now. That's all the Cultcasts we have for you guys this week. But if you want to come hang out with us, we're all on Twitter. We would love to hear from you. I'm at Erfon. That's ERFON. Lewis is at Lewis Wallace. Leander is at LK. This has been the Cultcast, the best 30-plus minute Apple conversation you're going to hear all week long. New episodes of the Cultcast come out every Thursday night. I want to thank everyone for listening. We will see you guys next time. And we're clear, but don't say anything bad because,
We should do more discussion of these shows.
yeah, I agree. Thanks everyone for tuning in. See you guys next time.
dear.
We can't play
I
trailers.
can't remember.
Yeah, go ahead. What?
God, it's 1:22. How
I
did
know.
that happen?
We went long.
Christ almighty, yeah. Okay, I'm
Hold
going
on.
to stop the recording, yeah?
Okay,
My,
don't say
my
swear
QuickTime
words.
recording is up to
Don't
6 seconds now.
6 seconds.
6 seconds
2
long.
fucking hours for me.
Dude,
2 hours.
Leander.
There he went.
There you did it. You just
Oh, fuck. Are you joking?
yes.
Keep it up.